It's 7 o'clock on the dot, so we're going to start now. I'm Bernardo Moy. I'm the founder of The Best Stew, and I'm here with Victoria Grech. So thank you so much for these webinar series about going global. And we're just sharing some ideas and some insights of why we believe, obviously understanding the market, the industry, marketing, and especially live events, why it's so important, and especially now. So Victoria, you've got a great story. And I know we connected originally because of the expo. We were talking about you speaking there, and then we met. On our Turning Pro program, and you've been training a lot of our team, people that were on it, which was fantastic. So you've got a great story of how you were working in the city, and all of a sudden you decided to go and do this photo shoot in the middle of nowhere.
Of Africa. If I go back, so I haven't always been a photographer, filmmaker, entrepreneur. I did think that I got my entrepreneur skills from my father, because when I left school, I actually started working for Dad in the manufacturing industry. So it was quite creative. Then he goes to stage, he wanted to retire. I was still pretty young and was just like, I don't want to have a stressful job like you, Dad. And so I said, no, I'm not going to take the business over. So he didn't sell it. He shut the business down, which I felt pretty bad about. And I was like, well, I don't really know what I want to do. So I decided to go and be an investment banker, thinking, oh, that won't be stressful much. And I would say I was very wrong about that point. But within 6 months, I went from being on the trade floor to running the trade floor, which was pretty intense for me. As a woman, actually having older men report to me and being able to understand kind of the psychology of running I call it running a business, because I went in there and ran it like it was a business, because that's how my dad taught me to work. So if some of the participants today and viewers kind of in your community, I would say, even if you're still in a day job, treat that day job really differently like an entrepreneur, and things will change anyway. So long story short, I was going out to buy another handbag, as I did, when the guys went to me, you're going on safari in Africa for a holiday, you need to buy a DSLR. And I'm like, a DSLR what? It's like, I have one of these point and shoot little Canon camera things. That's how old I am. And long story short, he kind of twisted my arm and said, right, go buy this camera and this lens. And I took this camera and lens away on holiday. And the first photo I took of this cheetah, and it was in automatic mode. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, wow, okay. And I felt that, I call it a light bulb moment, when I kind of have this life-changing moment that goes, I don't want to do my job anymore. I'm missing creativity. So I kind of pushed it to the back of my head thinking, no, everyone will be upset with me. I feel like I let my family down. And then the following day, I bribed a waiter to go into an African village to see what it was really like. And when I saw how people were living and they have no clothes and the kids are starving, I was like, my gosh, for my coffee and my magazine a week, I can change people's lives. So I decided at that point precisely I was going to quit my job, go home, and somehow become a photographer. So I had all the best will in the world. The trade floor were putting bets on when I would be back. My father, my mom, none of my friends could understand what happened to me. They thought I got drugged out there and something went wrong. But I've never turned back from that point. It hasn't been an easy point. I think really my first year in business, I photographed everything, and it was just wow to get paid for something you love. What I didn't understand is, and being a banker, I should have known this, there's a profit margin that you need to make to stay afloat. So after year one, I was something like 30, 40K in the red. So I had actually paid to do the work for these people, not the other way around. I was pretty deflated. And in year two, someone showed me DSLR video. And that's when I got another one of these light bulb moments. I was like, wow, this is now audio and video, much more impacting. And I don't say this to impress people here, but more impress upon you. Within the year of seeing the video, I was then teaching at Pinewood Film Studios. I was asked to speak on Creative Live to 150,000 people in America on a live TV show. So I'm saying anything is possible. And this is what I love about Bernardo and your brands is it's here. It literally is just your mindset. I'm not the best talented person in the world, but I've been training this for a long time now. So,
well, you've done some amazing work. And I think part of, look, a lot of people that I've met, I've come across in the industry, and I'm talking about the industry and personal development, I find that obviously there's tremendous passion there. You know, everyone wants to go out and change the world. You know, it's funny because, well, you started with that, was a camera, and then, oh my God, I want to do this, I want to change it. But then it is about that. This is great. This is fantastic. I love it. I find it very inspiring. But how am I going to make money? Because at the end of the day, we are brands and we're businesses,
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I've shared this before, but I've come across so many people that really want to make a difference in the world, but they don't focus on the money side of it, and they don't see themselves as brands. And then the attention to detail of kind of like their brand, unfortunately, it looks like crap. Or they don't believe that they've got to invest in brand, or they don't believe they've got to invest in marketing. They simply want to inspire people, and God or the universe will provide. And let me break the news, guys. It doesn't happen. So so I've seen a lot of the work that you've done, and obviously kind of like, so fast forwarding quite a bit. So as I said, I met Victoria because I came across her and I saw a lot of the training, the teachings that she was doing on helping, all sorts of people, but a lot of people in the industry. And you started then from, wow, I love this, to now, to obviously start bringing some revenue in and then teaching people how to do it. So you've obviously learned it. You've spent a lot of hours, you spent a lot of money and equipment, and you trained yourself in order to kind of get where you are. But that's kind of what Victoria does now. So Victoria helps people and helps people with something that is so current, and it doesn't matter what you do. You can sell frogs, you can sell, dog grooming. Video is such an important part of being in business nowadays, isn't it?
It is, it's totally. But what's really strange is there's still some big blockers, and sometimes the blockers aren't technology, because Video Marketer, one of the businesses that I put together, is specifically for small businesses to film on a smartphone. So that it's not that techie, the technology's there. The blocker is what's my strategy for video? What do I look like? So if you're like a woman like me or have insecurities, like, I love being behind the camera. That's why I left my job. And now some of my job is in front of the camera. So it's quite nice. I can see more of Bernardo than me. I'm not looking at me in the top right corner. And it's also the procrastination. I'm finding that with both small businesses, that when they finally have built a brand, their website looks great and their email and they've got campaigns, that to do video badly is worse than not doing it at all. And having that homegrown looked video is what people is that stopper. And that's where kind of the stuff that I teach is helpful, because once you learn the foundations, then the issue isn't technology anymore. And this is why I love kids. The kids that I teach in schools just have no issue with this. They're like, yeah, hi.
But the thing is that also I think there's this myth that it is very difficult, isn't it? And you need a lot of very expensive equipment. And I remember one of the things that you share, and you've shared in a lot of things, like some of the videos you've done or you did on your iPhone, and how amazing it can be simply by just attention to detail, some small little tricks of, about the lighting and obviously kind of using, but it isn't necessarily about spending a lot of money or really spending a lot of money either on software or equipment, is it?
No, not at all. So, and unfortunately for me, I was stuck in both camps. So I had my production company and the film world. And the first thing I filmed playing around on a smartphone was someone's wedding overseas, just like strangers I didn't know. And it actually kicked off in the industry to some of my sponsors like Sennheiser, and the big guys were like, wow, I can't believe you pulled this off on a phone. And that's kind of what made me famous as well in the smartphone market. But in the film market, the production guys, the video guys were like, you can't teach people this stuff. Like, this is our business. I'm like, and as a brand, I would say, even for us sitting here right now with the chatbot stuff or technology, yes, I probably upset them, but technology moves. And if you don't move with technology, then sometimes your business is over anyway. So for instance, if I use this analogy, so Virgin Records, 111 years or something like that, people wanted digital music. Then you had Napster that did it illegally, and then Apple did it and let us have it. And overnight, Virgin Records, I think they may have one store left, not even that. The same with Netflix and Blockbuster. So it doesn't matter even how good your brand is, that's just one part of it. But you do have to embrace the technologies, even if we don't like them. And I would say hire a kid or a student if you're really non-techie. to help you cover that part.
And that's great advice, because I've got to say, you know, kind of a lot of the times, like, and I'm guilty with a lot of the things that I should have done and I didn't do at the time. But I've always tried to be current. I mean, I remember when YouTube ads came, I was there. I remember when Google AdWords, I was there. I remember when obviously we started moving more towards internet marketing, the good old days when you had a 30% open rate, you know, and when there was no bloody GDPR. And then, you know, I remember obviously then, you know, Facebook coming in and then, you know, getting in there. You've got to be with the trend. You've got to read about it. And if not, you've got to use experts. There's so many experts out there.
Yeah.
And as you've suggested, you know, you put an advert on Upwork or any of these platforms or on Facebook, you can literally get students, as you say, who will charge you probably $5-10 an hour, you know, people working anywhere in the world who will do amazing work for you, and you know, and you can get it done. But the thing is that how important is it? I mean, you know, I think especially with Facebook now and Instagram, you know, it's such a great marketing tool. I mean, what is it you're teaching? And we'll talk a little bit more about chatbox in a minute, but what are you teaching as far as what's current with marketing when it comes down to video?
Well, I say video has actually been the biggest conversion for any type of marketing, like you said, in any market. So whether we've got equestrian horse providers that do products, when they've added a video to show how to put these products on the horses properly, their engagement rate, their conversion rate goes sky high. When it's just a still image and a photo, I would say I remember getting my first video email from someone in the US probably 10 years ago, and it made me stop and open it and watch it because it wasn't just text. So unfortunately, our brain capacity and concentration is going like this. So actually email or video is a much more quicker source to gain information. And sometimes if you're maybe a therapist or a coach, actually seeing someone's face also helps than just maybe talking over some slides. So the biggest conversion is unfortunately face to camera. But then there's some other tools that you can use, like what I call the typewriter effect. So if you really want to get into someone's brain, then you'll use a typewriter effect, which is really easy to create in something like Camtasia or ScreenFlow, their screen capture software. And it's about production value. It's about upping the brand, the perception if you put out videos, even if they aren't great with lighting and everything else. Because as you know, Bernardo, I always have a go at you about yours, don't I?
You do, but you can't help yourself, can you?
Yeah, I can't help it. But like, you're out there, you're doing video content, you're live streaming your seminars, your training, and you're getting rewarded for it. So it's almost like, as the Nike saying we did, just do it, but try and get a little bit of information how to not screw up first, especially for live video.
Yeah. And then listen, I mean, you know, a lot of the stuff, obviously, you know, kind of webinars and I remember when I started doing webinars, which was only last year. And you know, I had so many people coming to the courses and saying, oh, I saw your webinar. You just don't know who's seeing it. And you can see it because, you know, you get thousands. And the great thing, we're doing this webinar now, it's recorded, it's going to be there, and people can see it in the future. One of the things that I love about Victoria is as I said, she's always very current with marketing. And obviously one of the things that you've done very well, and I do want to talk about all the types of the ways that you are helping people. And obviously by helping people, you are then also creating some revenue streams for yourself for the amazing service that you offer. But that's obviously what I think a lot of people want. People want to know, okay, well, I have this expertise. How can I go out there and create some revenue? So just share some thoughts on what you would do or what you've done in order to kind of build that ongoing recurring revenue. And then we'll talk about live events afterwards.
Cool. So my first 3 businesses had my name stamped on it and had to have me there in some kind of capacity. So Video Marketer was actually built specifically for that reason, to be able to have my team behind it as well. I'm still very much part of it, but to the point that I can even sell that down the line at some point. The second point was what you was mentioning there is passive income. So for a lot of, if you're maybe a coach or a therapist, or there's something that you provide on an hourly basis, there's so many slots in your calendar that you can have that tops the money earning. And I'm working actually with one of my coaching clients right now, who is an NLP trainer and hypnotherapist. And she is non-techie whatsoever. And she's got to the stage now that we're producing all the upfront content and making it 80% automated. So actually she can filter through, she can start getting what we call some kind of like low cost fees, like £7 mini programs, mini videos that she can filter out now and coach a selected few people while still getting the same income as passive. Now, a lot of people say, oh, that's great. Everyone talks about passive income. It's not easy. And as a tried and tested method to make it work. What I would say though, is having digital products is the best thing to do because it's a 99% profit margin or 95 minus your payment costs. And then the next question is, okay, fine. People normally say to me, well, what do I do and how much do I charge? So what I would say is there's bands. So if you think about, this is how I built Video Marketer. I had a big whiteboard. I have it over to my left-hand side in the studio. And I brain dumped everything I knew about video for a small business, all the different areas. Then what I did on Post-it notes is club those areas into big chunks, into little areas. And I ended up with 4 or 5 areas. Then from there, I call splintering. I took one little piece off and kept making it little and little and little. And that was what my Facebook ad was. So when I launched Video Marketer, my ad for launching it was find out the one app that turns my iPhone into a DSLR professional video camera. So for me, I was just like, why would I want to click on that thing? But then I'm not my avatar. I'm not my client. So sometimes if you're so stuck in yourself and your client, you need to go find a potential person that you know that is your client and ask them, would that be helpful? So my opt-in rate was something like 80%. So I knew it was working. Then my little £7 offer was, okay, so you know what this app is now. Now this app is a little bit complicated to set up. So I've got a 5-minute video that will give you all the settings. I'll teach you how to use the app and then you're off, ready to go. So I would say with passive income, it's about speed or automation. So people pay either to get something quicker or can you automate it or can you do it for me? And from there, we launched Video Marketer. It went fantastically well. As you say, open rates are not as good now. I mean, we're still getting 30-40% open rates on some of the emails, which is pretty good. But the chatbot stuff is 80-90%.
Tell us about the chat box, because you were telling me about the chat box and you're very excited about it. And of course it is, yes. It sounds amazing.
That and like voice stuff, but voice stuff we've maybe got a little bit longer. But the chatbot stuff, when I first heard about it 1.5 years ago, I thought, I don't want anyone Facebook messaging me with just cold ads and stuff. It's going to piss me off. And now actually there's certain rules, so you can't just sell. But for me, if you can imagine, I have maybe a Facebook ad that goes to a landing page on my website. They get the email, they click on the email, they have to go to a video, they have to type in. And so it's back, forth, back, forth. Within Facebook ads, you can do a Facebook Messenger ad. So what they do is click on it, they go into Facebook Messenger. It's an automated bot, but you do type it out yourself with the scenarios. Yeah. Imagine I'll say, hey, do you want to know what the app is? Yeah, sure. Great. Here's a video. And you get the video straight in Messenger. Would you like anything else? Would you like this? And you can actually put them off different avenues like an email campaign, all within about 10-20 seconds. So something that maybe took 3-4 days to make a conversion takes about 20-30 seconds. It's insane. And not everybody is doing it right now, which is really good for me. So I would say anyone listening to this, that it's worth getting your head down and having a look at how to pull this off. I've been over the last 6 months testing all the different platforms. There's not one that really facilitates everything, but they're getting better. It's not totally stable, but I would say you're better off getting a low-cost lead and conversion for something a little bit more unstable, a little bit more difficult, than spending loads on a normal Facebook to website kind of click. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then now with how well Facebook is being integrated with Instagram anyway, whereby, you can literally boost a post from Facebook. You can bring your post from Instagram into Facebook.
Yep.
You can obviously set up your Instagram as a business, and you can then boost those posts. And oh my God, I mean, the targeting that you can create, I want it between 26 and 28 years old, people that live in London, and singles or married. I mean, it's just so targeted that, you can't get it wrong.
I've been building my Instagram channel long before like IGTV that's just come out, and I think that's really great. And you're right, Instagram still has a lot more organic reach. So if you don't have an Instagram account, people watching, then get one. Or if you do, just start posting using the hashtags. When I do my advertising, I do split my ads in Facebook to just Instagram ads only, and then Facebook ads, so you can actually measure those.
Yeah.
But like IGTV right now, in a filmmaker's world, they're slagging it off. And understandably why. It doesn't work for everything. So if you imagine being up this way, if I was doing a tutorial and I had stuff here, equipment, it's going to be really hard to see it. We're going to get a lot of blown out skies, and a lot of people probably like me like to not have their belly in it. So you kind of just hear to hear is great. But for someone that's not necessarily a filmmaker, specifically learning, and it's not hard at all. Like in ScreenFlow, Camtasia, there's editing apps called View that you can film kind of upright, that if you start producing content now, you're going to build an audience. Because at the moment, the stuff on IGTV is either people are still using their horizontal video, they're putting horizontal video that way, and I just think, and there's a lot of crap on there.
Yeah.
So I think we've got a great opportunity. And if I tie into now the ad blocking that still isn't out yet, and I'm surprised because in Cannes, I think a year ago, 2 years ago, everyone was talking about ad blocks. So I know I'm sick of the ads now on Instagram that I'm getting. Kind of it goes up and down, but like every second ad I've got on Instagram, that we will get the blocking software really soon. I'm sure within maybe next year. And the thing then is you're going to have to earn the right to have someone follow you the traditional way by having really good content. So it's good and bad. So if your content's not good, you're in trouble. If it's good, it encourages you to get better and you'll get more engagement anyway.
Well, some great tips and advice here. I mean, I think, look, at the end of the day, the great thing is that you have to be hands-on. You have to understand how these things work. It really isn't that complicated setting up a campaign for the first time on Facebook. I mean, it's a lot user-friendly as well. They have teams there to support and help you. At the end of the day, they're trying to sell you advertising. So they're going to volunteer to help you. So, just get on with it. Try it, practice it. That's the best advice that I could give. But I think part of the conversations, and this was kind of where we were coming. So out of all the things that I've done and all the marketing that we've done, if anything, is we've gone back from the phone face-to-face meetings to, oh my God, I got 4 emails today. To like, oh my God, I got 400 emails today. Oh my God, I can't wait to unsubscribe. To like, I don't want any more emails. To like now, kind of we're going back to, I think, so kind of like I'm building up my team to start contacting me more people over the phone. And then, but this is why I really believe, and I know we believe the same things. There's nothing like, and there's nothing more important now and more current now, especially now because marketing has changed so dramatically, than being involved in live events, having an opportunity to be able to speak to hundreds of people, thousands of people, engage with people face to face. Because let's face it, guys, there's so much you can do and say in a video. There's so much you can put on a post on Instagram and anything else. There's nothing like being able to speak to people. And we love it, don't we? I mean, if this is what we do, we should engage with people.
And what's actually nice is that, actually I'm going to backtrack a minute. So what's really cool is you're talking about, which has been in the marketing world, we've been talking about for a while now, is conversational marketing. So long gone is the bang, bang, broadcast. It's about having a conversation. And this is why messenger stuff is working, because it's short, sweet. So if you saw our email campaigns compared to the messenger campaigns, like, hey, I know I'm a bot, damn, I've messed up. Smiley face, that kind of thing. So it's like you would chat to someone. And the Alexa and the voice AI, particularly Google stuff, is really cool, is about having a conversation. But unfortunately, having a conversation with a robot. So what's the best is having a conversation with people. And I've trained actually some big speakers actually on stage to perform in front of a camera, because unfortunately, like when they're on stage, they feed back off of those people. Yet when they have a camera in front of them, something happens. Yeah. And it's just they lose it. So I would say definitely if you're a speaker, the best thing to do is get out there and speak live. And I know my conversions are very different if I speak live than if I do cold traffic or if someone sees a video. So yeah.
So and one of the things that I think we also mentioned last time, and as I said, we met because of the expo, and then you met, but it's the networking opportunity. So it's not only the people and the customers that you can meet, that you can engage with, that, you know, face to face, that, you know, and I love it. I love being able to speak to people, but it's also the networking opportunities. There's so much business when you get involved in live events as well, isn't it? People really underestimate the networking opportunities. You know, because it's not only, oh, I'm going to go there and speak to some clients. I'm going to speak into someone that might help me with my video editing.
Totally.
Or I'm going to speak to someone that might help me with my marketing. So that's
I
a big
would say how I got to Creative Live was that exact situation. So I think I was speaking in London, and then suddenly someone saw me speak in London and they invited me to speak in Canada, all expenses paid and a paid gig. And I was like, hey, this is really cool. Then when I was in Canada, this guy comes up to me out of the audience. I didn't know who he is. He was like, you need to be on Creative Live. And I was like, yeah, that would be really cool. That's one of my wish lists. Yeah, might not happen, whatever. And I get back home from the plane and I get a Skype call from Creative Live going, when can you come? And I'm like, what? And I'm good friends with this guy now. But like you said, you just don't know people's connections to connections. And it's like, there's a vibe. It's like, why do we go to big self-development? Like I've done a lot of the Tony Robbins stuff, and it's like, why do I go there when I've got every book, every tape, every whatever else? It's the energy, it's the interaction, it's meeting with people. I call it like that frequency when you're at an event is amazing, and you get drawn to the people that you should meet.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, thank you, and I agree. I think it's one of the highlights, and a lot of the people, some you know, they asked me, said, well, Bernardo, why do you do this? And I remember I was in America, you know, sometimes they don't get this sense of humor. And this, so she was going to do a radio interview for me. She's got a big following from Hay House. And she said to me, Bernardo, why do you do this? And this was before the interview. I said, you know what? I have no idea why I do these things, to be honest. And she said, no, Bernardo, we have to work on the answer. I said, no, I'm only joking. I do this because I love it. And the bottom line is, but when I put an event like this together, like we had 180 speakers, 150 booths, you know, and trying to market the thing and trying to get, you know, 12,000 people to show up, which they did. And that's why we do it. So.
And I was at the back of that I remember like the Turning Pro and the stuff before that as exhibitors had paid and they've got the stand and everything, but they weren't promoting it, which was crazy. They didn't film their videos. And I was like, are you crazy? The best thing to do is just draft behind someone that's already promoting the thing. So kind of if anyone's going to watch this that is doing it, even if it's, and you're hearing this from me, not a great video, at least have one.
Yeah.
Then you're very good at promoting the event, promoting speakers, promoting exhibitors. And again, you never know, someone sees that retweet or that post on Instagram and it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go see them, because the competition is fierce.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, I think kind of one of the things that I'm really trying to do now is trying to educate people. I've got the sun coming in. I'm trying to educate people on that. Is I find that the level of professionalism with a lot of the Americans is very different, and I think kind of what we do is that people underestimate. First of all, with the greatest of respect, you know, if anyone has done an event, there's so much that goes into it, from the logistics, the marketing, the social media, the money you've got to spend, the resources, the time, the hotel, the tickets, the bookings, you know, and this is pretty much everything done, you know. So we get your video, as you say, we put it on there, well, then we put it on social media. We send emails out every week where we're nurturing and creating awareness of this big event. All of us, we all invite people to come along. Hey, 100 of us invite 100 people, 10,000 people. And then we're all there, like-minded people, great energy. So it's all done, and I think that's one of the things that I think we've done well, and I definitely think is one of the reasons why people should definitely get involved. So
yeah, I mean, I would say in America, and when I've taught in America and been in America, they're more quick on the uptake, and they'll just go do it. I think we're still quite reserved here in Europe, and we kind of go, yeah, but we're not good at saying how great we are. So my answer to that, and you'll see in my sales videos, is I just get my clients to say how good the service is or our product is and stick those together. And you'll find the people that you've really helped, and this is what I'm doing with my coaching client right now, is she was like, oh, but they might say no. I'm like, but if you really made a difference in their lives across these markets, then they'll give you a little video. And I said, and it's okay if it's crappy video because it looks more real. So if you're going to get a testimonial, you don't want it plush. You want it to look raw, edgy, real, and having a show reel of maybe 3, 4, 5 people saying how great you are is the biggest conversion than you going, hey, I'm so good at this.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. That is great advice. And I think part of the challenge that people have is in necessarily believing in themselves, you know. And I think it's only those that stand out, those that you know take the go at the forefront and say, you know what, I have something to share, and I'm gonna go all in.
Well, I'm going to give you a little key here. I don't normally say this, but I suffer from that still today. So my whole career, it's like been, am I good enough? Am I good enough? Is our business good enough? Is everything good enough? Is our shoots good enough? Our videos? And it's that self-belief thing. And what I would say is that I've done so much self-development work on it, so it's easier. But I just get through this point that I use my why. Why am I doing this? And the reason was in Africa, seeing those kids was to make a really big difference. So kind of our profits go towards the villages and things like that. So I go, either I'm bothered about where I look and speak and sound on video, or do I care about feeding people? So if you have that big enough why, I think you get over it and then build up that self-belief.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I would recommend, I don't know if a lot of talk about the why, a great book, Simon Sinek, Start with a Why. That should get you going. I would definitely recommend that. I think at the end of the day, the important thing is to create partnerships, associate yourself with like-minded people, partner up with people, mentor, learn, model, from all those greats. Now, when we did our first expo, when we did our expo here this year, and then we did our first one in Long Beach, which was madness to do one after the other. I'm still struggling to get back on top. But one of the things that I did learn is I wanted to take a lot of the English people over to the US, because I really believe that there's so much talent over here. And not only that, I just believe that the Americans, they just love.
They love the English accent.
They love an English accent. So you could be talking crap, 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 crap. Oh my God, that's amazing. But then on the other hand, you know, kind of, I do really believe that there's some very, very talented people. And that's kind of what we do. So, you know, these talks that we record, they go global. And we created this product called the Global Summit, where people can watch recordings from both expos. So, you know, anyone that is going to get involved, it's not about the people that are going to be in the room. It's the thousands of people that could be seeing these talks in the months and years to come.
The other thing as well is, which I said to you were crazy, but you're recording every session in full and they get those sessions. But to be able to go speak in another country, now you're an international speaker. So now you've got privilege to now start charging to speak and things like that. And you've got better kudos. Yeah. So I would say if you had a choice between, and you're British, between being in London or LA, go to LA and take it as part of a holiday and just work for a little bit. And again, like we said, the networking, the kudos, the international speaker now.
You learn, and what you learn. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I think, look, there's so much you can read in a book. There's so much, again, that you can learn on a course. But what I learned in the 5-6 weeks on the build up towards the expo, the people that I met, I mean, I have the most amazing connections, as the Americans call it, a Rolodex. I've got the most ridiculous Rolodex of 6 weeks of me being in the US. So I'm actually off to LA now, and I've got like 6 days non-stop. So really emphasize on that. And now what we're doing is we're bringing a lot of people. So I'm going over there to bring a lot of talent from the US as well. So we're getting a lot of people that, and that's one thing that I really didn't understand. I knew I wanted to take English people over there, but I didn't really appreciate how excited a lot of the Americans are to come over to the expo in the UK, because they want to be in England. I spoke in London. I went to Europe. You know, they are an international speaker, so they get it. So we're probably bringing, I think we're probably going to have around 30, 40 US speakers coming over.
That'd be great.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Right, definitely.
All right, darling. Well, listen, a couple of more things. So I wanted to, for people that are interested in kind of what you do. Now, a lot of the people that I work with, and when I say, you know, so my brand's called The Best You. And I normally have to explain that it's not the crap you.
Me too, myself.
It's all right. It's called the best you. It's not called the crap you, the average you. It's called the best you. So, you know, when I work with people, I normally work with the best. If I go and reach out to someone and I say, you know what, I want to work with you, is because obviously I've done my research and I know, you know what they're doing is so unique and stands out. And we're obviously creating our all online platform. We're going to be working together. But Victoria was one of the few, because I don't go out and reach to many people. I'm blessed and lucky enough that people come and reach out to me. I went to you. So tell me and tell us how you can help a lot of the people that we have, because there's a build up here, okay? If people want to get involved in the expo, I want you to help them so we can create something very unique for them, so they can create a whole strategy, a marketing plan, not only as a build up to make sure they've got their room full and they got lots of leads coming in to see them, but also how they can create that revenue. So what can we
back-end system? And I think we said we're going to work on something. So if you're interested, please reach out to Bernardo and let us know. We'll work on something that maybe we'll do a day's event or something where we can do this hands-on. I like to do things like hot seats where I like to speak to you, like we said, in person, and dissect your business and give you ideas about the passive income. What kind of product could you sell? Because it's quite hard if you've never done that before and this is your first speaking gig and you don't have, I'm going to put it this way. I was on Creative Live 3 days, 150,000 people. I had nothing to sell. I didn't even capture one email address. That's like, you hear of these people that have this book, New York Times, is on Oprah, and then nothing. I did that. I learned the hard way. So just being able to capture data much easier. And the other thing is I have an online training platform called Video-Marketer, and I have got a deal for Bernardo's community, and that's £1 test drive. So we like to say, whenever you go buy a car, you want to test drive it first. So for just £1, you can get access to Video-Marketer's training.
That's really expensive, isn't it?
It is. And then it's a monthly membership after that, normally £27. But if you stay a member, you can have it for £19 a month. So that's basically, it gives you over 60 training tutorials about how to create professional video, from storytelling to editing to filming to creating kind of the vision and the strategy. We've got a Facebook closed group. So that's another thing that I did forget to mention is community. So for those of you that are going to be speaking, doing events, having closed Facebook groups, and Facebook have just come out with a community plugin where you can actually charge for a membership. So even if you don't have a website built for memberships, you can now install the Facebook plugin and start charging for access to that closed group. But I would say start off not charging first of all, and build what I call your tribe. And my tribe helped me build Video-Marketer. They told me what they wanted, not the other way around.
Well, thank you, and I know a lot of the people that have either been involved in the expo, or some of the people that have been involved in our training programs who have then worked with you. I know they've subscribed, and I know what you offer is phenomenal value. It's years and years of content, head bashing, on practicing, on perfecting your product. So well done. So with your permission, everyone, I'm going to very quickly share my screen. And you can literally, I just wanted to share that link. So it's www.video-marketer.com, sidebar best you, okay? And come on, £1 test drive, give it a go. And
you will get a warning in 27 days. I'm not someone that just auto charges you. You'll get an email in 27 days. If you still love it, you can stay a member. If you're not, then just use and abuse the £1 offer. Learn as much as you can if you're in tight budget.
That's amazing. Well, listen, I think that's fantastic. Very kind of you. I'm very interested in anyone that's watching this webinar to take advantage of this. If you aren't involved in the expo, if you are going to be involved in the expo, that first of all shows that you're a very, very intelligent person, and that's great. And then the second thing is, obviously, if you do want to get involved in the expo, as I said, I'm talking with Victoria about running some workshops, some seminars, and provide some help and support as a build up towards the expo. To make sure that we can, guide you in the whole process of making sure that you can create a great brand and take the maximum advantage and 50 times return on investment on getting involved in the expo. And for those of you that have never heard about the expo, well, where have you been? That's my first question. And the second thing is, well, it's www.thebestyearexpo.com. And then there, I'll just take you back to the homepage. And there we've got the UK and the USA. We've got some very exciting news. We're looking at the moment about an expo in Dubai, in India, in Greece. We're talking about someone in South Africa, Canada. So I'm telling you, 2019, 2020, we're probably looking at rolling out 5 or 6 expos all over the place. At the moment, we've got one in LA, still dates to be confirmed. But if you go to thebestyearexpo.com and then you simply go to the London site, it's the 15th, 16th of February. It's in London, in Olympia, which is a fantastic venue. And then here you can book a stand, you can speak, you can apply. I've got to let you know that we had over a couple of thousand people apply to speak last year. So the 180 speaking slots will go. And if you wanted just to apply here. That's it. You've got all the details. We can send you all the information. We've got great testimonials. And that's it. That's pretty much it. Anything else, Victoria, you want to share before we go?
I would, that one thing that is coming is I'm going to do a 5-day video content creation challenge. And this will be free. And we are going to utilize a bot to do the whole thing and most of it, and have a closed Facebook group. So what I will do is I'll share that little link for anyone that wants a little starter just to get over the 5 days. We're going to make sure that you film better video than you would do, or even get a video out there that you're proud of within those 5 days. So that's what's coming up.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much. Guys, boys and girls, video marketing, video and marketing is a very important part of succeeding in business nowadays, being current. You have to spend time on this, and it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. It just changes constantly and permanently. We've got to adapt to the times. We've got to go with the flow.
Even if we don't like it, because I mean, I don't enjoy learning all this stuff.
Especially if you don't like it, because, you know, there's all sorts of things we didn't like when we were young, but you just got to have that open mind. And once you've done it a couple of times, it's I remember the first time I did a webinar, oh my God, I was so nervous. And I got this wrong and I got that wrong. And at the end of the day, I'm listening, you know what, that's it. It's get on with it.
If you're open and honest when you mess up, people are way more forgiving than when you're trying to kind of like be great at everything. So just be authentic above else. The same as if you're nervous about, say there's people that I remember when I got asked to speak. Unfortunately, I had no practice, and I think my 3rd gig was that big show. And I remember speaking to my coach at the time saying, I need to learn NLP. I need to learn to be a speaker. And he wouldn't let me do it. It was like, just go be you. So I would say, for those of you that do know NLP, then this is a great platform. But if you don't worry about it. Just go be you. And this is marketing, kind of attract your own tribe, repel everybody else. That we actually specifically say things in our emails and our advertising to really repel the people we don't want. Because then you'll get the messes, then you'll get the people that are not going to be good in a community. So I would just say, be you and be authentic, and everyone messes up.
And at the end of the day, it's down to like everything. It's like speaking, public speaking. It's like riding a bicycle, everything. It's all down to practice. The more you get in front of the camera, the more natural you become, the less you care. And apart from that, I mean, the other thing is, I just think that at the end of the day, you know, it's just the best thing that you can really do out there at the moment. And what I was trying to get to is, and you should know this, when you look at a lot of people that try to do these videos in one go, I think it's so great, and so they look so much slicker when you see all these videos that are cut up when they've got the edits. They're just super slick, and you see these top speakers who just literally cut video, either because they've got 2 cameras or because it's all part of the editing. It just makes it look good. So, you know, just work naturally.
That's what we're going to pull off in those 5-day challenge. Well, the challenge is going to be to produce, edit with little sequences, all within 5 minutes. So we'll see if we pull this off. And again, it's a challenge for me to be able to teach this, and to be able to teach this virtually and through a Facebook Messenger. So for me, I'm using this challenge not only to help everybody, but to actually test the technology and push the technology to go, what can we do with it? And then if we can do something like that, then it works for anything. So I would definitely say keep the chatbot, the robots on your horizon, and also the voice kind of UI stuff, the voice activated Alexa, things like that, which again is, I mean, I know my dad uses, on his phone, he's got an Android version, he just talks to his phone and I get texts. So there's the older generation that really use that all the time because he doesn't know how to text. And then the younger generation that are used to messaging and chat and quick and everything else. We've had voice for ages. We had instant messenger for a long time ago. We talked to our car. We asked for sat-nav navigation. So I'd say don't hide from technology. Try and at least find someone that can explain it to you in simple terms, or hire someone that can get it done for you.
Well, thank you so much. This was great, Victoria. I'm sure a lot of people are going to get a lot out of it. I hope you guys take advantage of the kind offer that Victoria has shared with us today. As I said, remember, you can go in and test it. www.video-marketer.com, sidebar best you for £1. But I'm very excited anyway, Victoria, about working with you as we build up towards the expo and how we can help everyone that's going to get involved. So thank you so much, and speak to you soon.
Take care.
Take care. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching. Take care. All the best. Bye.